Hey, welcome back to another episode with SX Podcast. Excited about being here. It's Coach Cryptos once again. Andrew, what's going on, man?
Hey, another great month. Yeah, thanks for having me. I think this is our third SX podcast. So, yeah, let's keep the momentum going. A lot of stuff to discuss.
Yeah, that's right, man. No shortage of topics, and I've been getting great feedback. So once again, for anybody listening to the podcast, if you ever have questions that you maybe want us to address, stop by the Discord. It's a questions channel. Just drop a question in there, and Andrew, make sure to take note, and we'll definitely hit it up. But you said great month. We're rolling right into the beginning of November, and we like to recap what's happened in the previous month. Just talk to us a little bit about what's been going on in October regarding volume and all those metrics we keep up with.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting month. So overall number of bettors on the site grew 19% month over month. So all these marketing initiatives that we've been doing over the last kind of couple of weeks have been successful in getting new people to the site. But volume was surprisingly light, came in around 16 million. Which is actually lower than last month, even though we had about a 20% bump in users. And I think that was mostly due to a couple of our large bettors who sort of weren't as active this month. So the headline number was kind of down, even though I guess the underlying fundamentals actually improved quite a bit month over month, which is a little bit frustrating. But to be honest, at the end of the day, having more users is obviously crucial. And I think if we just keep sort of growing the user base, volume will sort of follow. Yeah, it was a little bit surprising, I would say. But again, user growth was good, so we're going to keep focusing on that. There's about 100,000 SX that was burnt over the month, so pretty much in line with last month, which is great. We're getting to the point now where almost 25% of bet mining is actually covered by SX being burned, which is pretty unique. We're a 4x away from SX being deflationary in terms of the sort of SX issued through bet mining minus SX that's burnt from betting, which is really, really cool. And then finally, protocol revenue was mostly in line with last month, around 125K. We're going to be publishing a monthly report with more details on all the stats and all that type of stuff on Medium early next week, as we always do. So for more details, just you can check that out.
That's awesome, man. Well, the analytics platform has obviously been great for us to be able to keep up with some of that stuff. But as you mentioned, the SX burnt versus the SX mining, bet mining, I mean, that's pretty awesome to be able to put yourself in position to become a deflationary, kind of protocol per se, just having that mechanism in, and then all of a sudden, the more users, once again, 20% growth, almost 20% growth. Hopefully sooner than later, more betting, more burnt SX. I mean, that's a cool kind of wheel that's happening there.
It's definitely like one of the things I always think is quite unique about SX is the sort of tokenomics of the platform. In my opinion, are second to none, in the sense that if you look at most DeFi protocols right now, their protocol revenue is down anywhere from 80 to 95% down year over year, whereas we are still growing year over year quite substantially. And when you factor in the amount that's issued through bet mining, protocol revenue, so this is revenue that's going to the community fund, is actually greater than the amount that's issued in incentives, which to me is an incredibly sustainable sort of model. Whereas like when you look at a lot of DeFi projects, typically incentives are much higher than the amount of protocol revenue that's taken in. I've seen anywhere from 3 to 5x. I believe Osmosis right now, for example, not to sort of pick on them, they're generating around 60K in protocol revenue versus 360K per day in token incentives. So, and with osmosis, like I'm sure they'll sort of right the ship over time as they gain network effects.
Right.
But it just kind of goes to show you how sustainable SX's sort of economics, or tokenomics, as you want to call it, are. And if we can continue that while still growing triple digits year over year, and continuing to kind of get more projects on SX network, keep shipping new features, I think we're just in an incredible spot moving forward.
Absolutely. And, you know, we didn't talk much about the market at all, you know, the general crypto market. But when you're sitting in a bear market and you're able to add new team members, add new features, do all the building that we're able to do, and still, like, you know, look at some of these metrics at the end of every month and, you know, see so much positive. I mean, that's got to be very encouraging, right?
Yeah, it's definitely encouraging. I mean, I would like for our volume to be even higher.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
I don't want the bear market to be kind of an excuse. I think we should grow triple digits year over year every month. And I know everyone on the team sort of feels the same way. And yeah, so I mean, we're just going to continue to be very aggressive. It's crazy how far we've come, though. I don't know if you noticed, over this month, we actually passed $250 million in total bets since inception, which is really cool, given that less than a year ago, we had just hit 100 million.
Yeah.
So total, it's been crazy. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna throw up, like 2022, even with this crazy bear market, is still gonna be, we're still gonna grow at least over a 2x from last year. And I think we can do even better next year. So yeah, I mean, it's been great. The platform, I mean, as everyone can see, is just getting better and better. And we shipped a couple of new features this month as well that we can talk about. And yeah, so I've never been more sort of optimistic about the future of SX. That's for sure.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, that crossing that 250 million mark in betting volume was kind of a really cool deal. And what was cool from my point of view was I was anxiously waiting for the analytics kind of platform to show up, and I think it showed up maybe right after we hit that mark. But anyways, we have an analytics platform that kind of keeps up with betting volume, protocol revenue, and SX burn. I think a few other metrics are coming down the pipe. But anyways, just kind of talk to us about that release and all that good stuff.
You covered it perfectly. It covers three main metrics: betting volume, protocol revenue, and SX burned. So that's kind of the V1 of this platform. And you can find it on the sort of breadcrumb on sx.bet or sx.bet/analytics. And yeah, it's great. It shows cumulative charts on the left, and then sort of a daily bar chart on the right. And you can adjust time period and all that. So yeah, it's been great to have, and I know a lot of people sort of check it every day. So we're going to be adding stats on staking. Over time, we'll add sort of transaction fees generated from SX network gas fees as those become sort of more substantial, and just a host of different sort of metrics, so everyone can be informed on how everything's happening.
Yeah, amen. It was always awesome to see people in Discord asking, you know, just the questions about some of the metrics. Now they can access it at a click of a button, man. And not only did we launch the analytics platform, we also launched the affiliates. I don't know if you call it a platform, but the feature of affiliates. Now, fill anybody in that may have missed that announcement or anything like that regarding affiliates.
Yeah, so affiliates is actually one of the main ways that traditional sort of betting platforms grow. And so now that we have it, it's quite literally a huge unlock for SX. We have always been a little bit conservative on adding it. I mean, we've been doing this for 4.5 years. And so launching the affiliate portal now seems a little delayed, but we did that on purpose just because we want the platform to get product market fit before we have sort of other channel partners push the platform or market the platform. I think at this point, we've definitely hit product market fit. The platform, like I said, generates protocol revenue in excess of token incentives, which is highly unique within sort of DeFi. It has done $250 million in betting volume and sort of growing month over month. So I feel like it's kind of the right time to do it. We did a soft launch. I believe we're at around 25 affiliates so far, with the goal to sort of substantially increase that over time. And yeah, and so anyone can kind of go and sign up. It's sort of a registration process so far. Over time, we'll sort of open it up more and more. But yeah, the soft launch has been great. Our head of BD sort of built a pipeline of affiliates so that now that the portal's launched, we're kind of just going through all of those people. And I think, yeah, I think it's been great. I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about the crypto fight night, but that's been like an obvious sort of use case of the affiliate portal. So yeah, I'm super, I mean, it's just another thing that adds fuel to the fire.
No doubt. Yeah. I think I've seen a few people on Twitter kind of utilizing that affiliate link in preparation for the crypto fight now, which we'll talk about here shortly. That's super exciting, man. Now, SharkSwap, my favorite time.
Yeah, I want to ask you about SharkSwap. What do you? I mean, I know you saw we hit $7.5 million on SharkSwap TVL.
Yep.
I'm curious. I mean, you're a SharkSwap guy. What have you been farming? What are you thinking?
Yeah, man. So honestly, I kind of alluded to this last podcast, but you know, probably my smallest farm that I was on was USDC Shark, and honestly, Shark has just done so well. I've increased my yield there, and so I'm actually hitting that pretty hard and just continuing to compound the rewards there and into more and more. And yeah, man, I've been thoroughly pleased with just Shark's growth, the burning mechanism that allows for that to stay relatively stable. And yeah, so I just love the yield from that. SharkSwap still over 3-digit APR. I think it's like 130 right now, maybe a little bit more, because I think the crypto market's pumping as we're talking right now for some reason. But anywho, yeah, man. So that's kind of where I'm spending the majority of my time going right now.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're actually just, while we're on this podcast, just about to hit $8 million in TVL on SharkSwap.
There you go.
Which is pretty cool. I mean, the platform is not, I would say it's way on the conservative side in terms of rewards and stuff like that. I mean, it's always taken a more sort of sustainable approach. Trading volumes have been great. I think I'm just looking at it right now. It's averaging roughly, just kind of eyeballing it, 150K a day in trading volume, which is awesome to see.
Yep.
Like we said, SharkSwap takes 20 basis points on every trade, so it's actually generating decent amounts of protocol revenue. All that protocol revenue is recycled into buying and burning Shark too. Yeah, so it's been great to see. I mean, yeah, SharkSwap's been kind of don't call it a comeback, but it's been slowly making its way back up. So it's been great to see.
That's right. Yeah, and I just took a peek too. 182,000 Shark has been burned up until this very point, and you know, like you said, taking some of those fees and buyback and burning has been awesome. And when you say it's close to 8 million, I mean, you're talking about a little bit of about 20K away. That's pretty awesome, man. I can't wait to kind of share that with the social media world.
Yeah, it's been cool. Yeah, I think 180,000 and fully diluted is 100 million supply. So roughly 8.18% of the total supply has been burnt, and which would be a much higher percentage as a percentage of circulating, because I believe only 30% is circulating. Actually, I could be wrong on that, but yeah. So yeah, actually, roughly only 25% is circulating right now. So almost 1% has been burnt, awesome. Which is really cool.
Yeah, and then I want to say SX Network has just been added to DEX tools, which is tracking, I think, at this very moment, just the USDC Shark pool that I was talking about a moment ago. But it's always great to be on a great platform like that. So should see a little bit of increase in users coming over, seeing us on DEX tools. So that was a pleasant surprise this morning. Now, the roadmap for November, we seem to always have some stuff cooking up every month. Let's dive into the SX November roadmap. What do we got going?
Yeah, so we actually put out a poll on Discord just like a sort of soft voting poll, voting with, on Discord. It's not on chain, but we got really great feedback on the features that people want to see. And so we're putting together a long form roadmap that we're going to release to the community, so that everyone can kind of see what's working. We'll get feedback from the community. There's sort of three things I want to highlight that we're looking to get out sort of imminently. So the first is everyone's favorite. It is the bridge to Polygon, and it's the #1 sort of complaint we've gotten from everyone. I'm very sorry to everyone about that. We should have gotten it out on launch, and we're going to rectify that now. So that will allow people to bridge. So currently, if you have USDC on SX network, you can only bridge it back to Ethereum using Seller, which has a relatively high fee. So for smaller sort of users, smaller bettors, it's not really economical, unfortunately. You can kind of get around that right now by swapping it into Matic and then bridging back to Polygon, which obviously has lower gas fees, and you can use sort of the custom bridge, which has is much cheaper. But yeah, I mean, so what we're doing now is we're going to be launching a custom bridge that allows people to bring USDC back to Polygon for essentially a very low fee, if none, I think. So we're working on that very hard. We get a message about that in the Discord every day. I hear you guys, and yeah. So we're gonna get that out ASAP. The second is one of the biggest things we've noticed, just kind of looking at the data, is there is a little bit of friction in terms of depositing onto SX. Obviously, it's its own chain, app chain, and there's obviously, like I said, some issues with bridging and things like that. So we're rolling out a way more simplified deposit flow. We spent a good amount of time on it. I think it's going to reduce a lot of the friction with sort of depositing from other chains onto SX. So that's going to be a huge unlock. And I'm really, really excited about that. I think everyone's going to really appreciate that, along with, like I said, the bridge back to Polygon. And then finally, one of the features that we put in the poll was 1x2. And it was a little bit lower than some of the other features, but in terms of the amount of work, it's a little bit less. And with the World Cup coming up, obviously the World Cup of soccer is coming up very soon, we decided to accelerate the launch of 1x2 so we can get that up for World Cup. And so we're hoping to get that up essentially for World Cup. We're sort of racing to get it up, and I think we will, but we'll see. And yeah, I mean, I think that'll be great. That's one of the sort of top 5 features requested by everyone. So yeah, really excited about that. Our soccer on sx.bet up until now has been draw no bet, which is kind of a more exotic type of market. So 1x2 is kind of the more standard one. It requires a little bit of changes on the front end because it's kind of a unique market structure, but we've mostly figured it out, and really excited to get that out for World Cup.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a great month of feature. Like you said, just so many questions about the bridge that'll rectify a lot of things there. And then the deposit flow in the 1x2 sounds like an awesome month once again. So look forward to seeing all that stuff pop up. And here at the beginning of the month, we got some excitement that's not directly tied to us, but we are one of the, I believe the only betting market for crypto fight night, man. So have you been keeping up with any of that?
Yes. Yeah, super fun. Really kind of happy that we were able to be the only sort of market for this. So Crypto Fight Night is this sort of annual tradition where big names on crypto Twitter fight each other in sort of amateur boxing. There's actually also a pro card as well, but I think let's just focus on the amateur card for now because it's more unique and kind of hilarious. So yeah, I mean, it's been awesome to see. It's happening on November 12th. So we got about just a little bit over a week until it happens. It's in Dubai. So I think most of the fights are around midnight, or actually, I don't know exactly where they are. But it's obviously a bit of a time difference. And yeah, so one of the fights that's been getting the most action is Joey versus Crutches.
Yeah.
So far, there's been about $13,000 bet on it, and a lot of the bets actually have been coming on Crutches. I'm just looking at it right now. There's been about 11 bets so far. 8 of those have been on Crutches and 3 on Joey. Crutches is a small favorite right now. He's roughly a 55% favorite in terms of implied probability, which is minus 125 in terms of American odds, or 1.8 for people who use decimal odds. Whereas Joey is like an even 50%. So yeah, I mean, it's hilarious. We're going to be doing a full crypto fight night preview show, as well as next week, as well as trying to get some of the boxers on the show as well. We'll do some interviews, get their fight picks. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's just hilarious. Which cryptos? I know you've been sort of following this on Twitter. Curious, what do you have any bets on this? Who do you like?
Man, I tell you what, man, Crutches is the personality is just killing me. So yeah, first and foremost, if you were kind of just not hearing about this, please just get on Twitter, sx.bet. We're hopping into the banter, but the back and forth has been hilarious. But no, that Crutches and Joey fights got me interested because those guys are just some quality characters. As far as boxing, just technique and things like that, man, I've been really impressed with Barney the Boy, and I know we're gonna get into that, so I won't dive too deep. But yeah, man, it's crazy to see these guys like legitimately putting it all out there. I mean, they're training for real. They're smack talking. So I look forward to the to the show dedicated to it, to see what you guys discuss on it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think if I remember correctly, Barney was actually an underdog at the start. He actually opened as like a small underdog, and now he's a slight favorite over Barney, over Korean Jew.
Yeah.
These guys got hilarious names. But yeah, I mean, we're going to be diving in, like you said, into a full fight night preview. We'll be giving, going through every single fight, analyzing their intangibles, analyzing what these guys are eating. Some of these guys are posting about eating like McRibs and stuff. It's been hilarious to see. And we did actually a couple partnerships with some of them, doing sort of like a bet drop for their community, which has been cool to see. It's been getting a lot more exposure to SX, so it's been great.
Yeah. Hopefully we can talk a little bit more about that next on that podcast. But it is time for us to close. But I would be remiss if I walked away from this podcast and didn't ask why you're looking so fly right now, man. Well, tell us about this blazer you got going on.
Yeah, so we're going to be releasing more about this blazer in the future, but I'll just give a quick sneak peek of it. As you can see, it's got the SX brand right here in gold, and in the SX colors. And let's just say we've cooked up some really cool blazers for some of the top bettors, top stakers in the SX ecosystem. And yeah, if you've been grinding really hard on SX, whether that's on the staking side or the betting side or both, we'll be just keep your ears peeled, because we got some really cool stuff coming down the pipeline to get everyone wearing some very unique swag. We'll be also releasing a full merch line as well. That's also coming. This is more sort of our top end products, but yeah, I'm super excited. It's got a really cool inside as well.
I love it.
Yeah, we spent a couple months. We got this really talented designer working on it, and yeah, excited to finally release it to everyone.
Well, that's exciting, man. Thanks for giving us a little teaser there. I'm sure people have their eyes and ears peeled for more information. I appreciate you, AY, man. Always look forward to talking to you more. Until next time, we'll see you guys.